In today's brand new Dirt Rally 2.0 DLC news video, I'm going to be showing you some exciting new information which points to the very strong possibility of a third season of DLC for Dirt Rally 2.0. It's quite a bit of information to get through, so let's get started. What's going on, guys? My name's Matinio and welcome back to Dirt Rally 2.0 and another DLC news video. So, given that we are pretty much coming to the back end of the second season of DLC for Dirt Rally 2.0, I figured this would be a good time to start in some way speculating what we could be getting in a Season 3 DLC, but also revealing information which I believe points to the fact that we are definitely getting a third season of DLC for Dirt Rally 2.0. So half of this video will be regarding information and stuff I've found out, and the other half will basically be speculation, because I haven't filled all the slots in sort of the DLC roadmap for Season 3. But yeah, so we'll jump in and start off with what we know. So, given that the first two seasons of DLC for Dirt Rally 2.0 followed the exact same pattern, 3 brand new locations and/or circuits and 6 brand new cars, I can't imagine they're going to go away from that and deviate in any way. So I'd imagine that would follow on into Season 3 DLC. And that would fit nicely in terms of the locations that we could be getting, because, as a lot of you know, we're still missing 2 of the original locations from the original Dirt Rally game, which are Finland and Greece. And also, given that Dirt Rally 2.0 acts as the official World Rallycross game for that championship, we are still missing one of the circuits to complete the calendar, which is Belgium. So I would imagine that if, and more than likely when we get Season 3 DLC, it will be locations-wise Finland, Greece, and the Belgian World Rallycross circuit, which I believe is at Spa. And I've seen some of the footage, and it takes in parts of Eau Rouge. I really want to see that. I really want to drive that. So that would be really cool. I'm not a great fan of Rallycross, but driving a Rallycross car partway up Eau Rouge and then handbrake turning it around a hairpin, it's just too good of an opportunity to pass up. So that's what I imagine we're going to be getting in Season 3. That's what logic dictates, sort of deductive logic, I guess. We're missing 3 locations to make up from the original Dirt Rally game and the FIA World Rallycross calendar, and we've got 3 slots to fill. So that's where I'm going with that. I would love to see Pikes Peak again. Whether we get that potentially in a 4th season of DLC, I don't know. But I do know, and I haven't seen anything to the contrary, that says that Polyphony Digital, the creators of Gran Turismo, they own the rights to Pikes Peak. Sadly, they've done bugger all with those rights, and we haven't seen it in Gran Turismo Sport. And whether we're going to see it in the next Gran Turismo game, Gran Turismo 7 or 8 or something like that, whether we're going to see it there, I don't know. But we had it in the original game, Pikes Peak. Whether we can get it again, I'm not sure. I would love to see it, but at this point, I would say the chances are slim. Let's just say that. But you never know, maybe information comes about and that becomes a possibility. But now we're going to move on to the cars. And like I said, each of the first 2 seasons of DLC, we've got 6 brand new cars. And I've got information regarding 2 of the possible cars we could be getting in a 3rd season of DLC. So we're going to start off with this, basically. So someone called David Wright, who I believe owns this car, posted this on Facebook a little while ago. I think it was around about sort of early May sort of time, maybe late April. Great day at Blighton race circuit, recording sounds for Codemaster's new Dirt game. And the car you can see on screen, just from comparing that against images on Google, I think this is the 2001 Ford Focus WRC. So yeah, I mean, when we originally got the other Ford Focus we got in the game, which was the 2007, we were like, yeah, but it's not the 230, it's not the Colin McRae Ford Focus. That's the one we want. Give us that one. And it looks like we're going to be getting it. I mean, this sort of first gen of Ford Focus actually appeared in the first Dirt Rally game, so getting sort of remastered sounds for it, and then maybe just remastering the original car models, from a cost perspective, that would make things maybe a little bit cheaper and a little bit easier to bring it to the game, rather than having to go out and get a completely brand new car that hasn't been seen in the first game and getting the sounds and modelling it. I can see that being, I can see this being advantageous, having this car in the game. And like I said, I thought this potentially could appear in the 2nd season of DLC, but given it hasn't, and they've done the sound recording work, it seems kind of pointless and a waste of money and resources to do that work and not have this car in the game. So I would say if we are going to see a Season 3 of DLC, and I'm fairly certain we will, this will be one of the cars we'll be getting. The next one, again, this comes from Facebook, and this comes from the Nissan F2 Motorsport Facebook page. So the day has finally come. Today we're recording with Codemasters for the newest Dirt Rally video game, and this car is the Nissan Sunny or Pulsar GTI. Now, unfortunately, it's not the GTI-R, which was basically a baby Godzilla. Out of the factory, I think it had something like 300 odd brake horsepower, 4-wheel drive, and it went from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. It was a monster, and it was the car I wanted so badly as a child, but I never got it. But this isn't the GTI-R, this is the GTI, and this fell into the F2 category, and it had a few notable drivers. I think Tommy Macklin drove it in the early 90s in the F2 category, which I think ran from, I think it was like 92 to sort of the back end of the 90s or early 2000s. And also Mark Higgins drove this car, the man who set the fastest time around the Isle of Man TT course at a car a little while back in a Subaru, and his co-driver was none other than Phil Mills, and that was in, I think, 95 or 96. So I'd say there's a good possibility that this is going to be one of the cars coming to the game, because we already have Phil Mills, and maybe he said, well, you know what, get the Sunny GTI, it was a pretty good car, get that one. So again, admittedly not the car I would have wanted. I would have preferred the GTI-R, which I think would have fell into the Group A category, and I think it did compete in Group A, but an F2 car would be a good way to start off, because we don't have any F2 cars in the game yet. But again, that kind of poses the question, what would be the point of having one F2 car? We would need at least two to make it in any way, shape or form interesting. So this next pop is more likely speculation. So let's just take a look at the cars that I think we could potentially get, or the cars I would more than likely, the cars I would like to see in the third season of DLC. So we'll kick off with this, the Peugeot 305 Maxi. Now, again, from a cost perspective for Codemasters, this makes a lot of sense, because I believe this did appear in the first version of the Dirt Rally game. So just basically getting some, getting the sounds again with, better recording equipment, and then just remastering the original car models and bringing it to the game. From a cost perspective, it makes sense. And I think this fell into sort of the F2 kit car category. This was sort of the late 90s, early 2000s version, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't know a whole lot about the F2 category, but this was a great category. And towards the back end of it, these cars were actually starting to put a real tight squeeze on the WRC cars, despite the fact they were basically there as a sort of a slightly lower category in the World Rally Championship. So this would be a cool car to have in the game. The next car in the wish list is this, and a lot of you have asked for it, the Lancia ECV. And this car was due to compete in 1987 in the brand new Group S category. So what a lot of people don't know is that Group B, come hell or high water, was always going to end in 1986 and was going to be replaced by Group S. And a lot of manufacturers sort of committed to it. Ford basically built a Group S version of their RS200. Lancia had the ECV. There was also an ECV2 as well that came about. I think Audi had one. It was sort of like a little kit car coupe thing with mad power. So I personally, though, would love to see this one, because it looks absolutely bonkers. And from the information I've been seeing, somewhere around a region of 600 brake horsepower, maybe a little more. Again, let me know in the comments, guys, if you have any more information on this car. But this would be absolutely fun. Sunny GT. I don't think it makes any sort of sense just to have one Group S car. Another one. And that brings us to the Peugeot 4S. Now, we did see the car basically be sort of re-upped and modified and take on things like Pikes Peak. So it's not a big stretch. I think the Pikes Peak version did appear in the first version of Dirt Rally, and again, from a cost perspective, it does make a bit of sense, considering that they already have the models. They can remaster those models. They don't have to go and get the models for an entirely new car and get sounds and everything and kick the price up further. You know what I mean? If it makes money, it makes sense, and this thing I think definitely would make money, considering they already have it in there. I don't think we had the Group S version, we had the Pikes Peak version, but I don't think it'd be a massive jump to remaster the original models for the T16 Pikes Peak car and turn it into the Group S car. That would be my choice, and it will make for a nice little Group S category to start off with. And the final car, and this is just personal preference, I would love to see this, the 1998 Subaru Impreza WRC. Now this is my favourite Subaru Impreza rally car. It's a coupe. It's obviously the road going version was the 22B, which in my opinion is the ultimate Subaru Impreza, and of course this was driven by, of course, like Colin McRae and so on and so forth. I think Carlos Sainz drove for them. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I would love to see this because it's just beautiful. It just looks so good, and I want to drive it, and it's just going to be absolutely amazing. Whether we get it, I'm not sure. If we are going to get another Subaru Impreza, while I would like to see this, I think again logic dictates that it's probably going to be the 2001 Subaru, because, or is it the 2002? Because we had that in the original Dirt game, so they can just again get the sounds with better recording equipment, remaster the original car models, and bish bash bosh, real good nosh. In the game it goes. So yeah, and this next one is this is more personal preference. You've got to think I'm balmy, but I'm going to explain it. And another car I'd like to see, the Skoda 130 LR. Now you're probably asking yourselves, Matt, why in the hell would you want this Czechoslovakian piece of shit in the game? Okay, maybe you're not saying it that harshly, but there is a reason. And believe it or not, my parents actually had a Skoda 130. It broke down weekly. It was horrible, but my granddad bought it for my mum, and when he bought it, he basically sat my mum and dad down and said, okay, I'm going to buy you both a car. You can either have a Lada or you can have a Skoda, which at that point in time, sort of late 80s, that was like picking between a giant douche and a shit sandwich. And they went with a shit sandwich, evidently. And like I said, it broke down weekly, so much so that the mechanic that came round, first name basis, we were pretty good friends. His name was Mr. Boot, probably because he spent most of his time in the boot, because this is actually rear-engined. So yeah, so that would be a fun car to drive, considering it's got a bit of Matinho heritage to it. So yeah, those would be my choices. But that's pretty much the end of the video and the information I have for you guys. But I'm keen to hear your thoughts as always. What cars would you like to see in the game for a potential Season 3 DLC? Would it be the same cars as mine? Do you have something different in mind? Drop a comment down below, guys. It's always awesome to hear from you and hear your thoughts on these things. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty much the end of this DLC news video. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more Dirt Rally 2.0 or general sim racing content from myself, make sure you go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, be sure to ring that bell notification button as well, so you get updates for all of my new videos whenever they go live. And like I said, drop a comment down below and let me know what you would like to see in the Season 3 of DLC. But yeah, once again guys, thank you everybody so much for watching. Stay cool, and as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace!